Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Innovation Groundbreakers Youth Ambassador Edition, a production of the World Summit Awards. If you are curious about global innovation tied to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, well, you've come to the right place. I'm your host, Catherine Warren, a World Summit Awards board director and president of FanTrust, where we do innovation strategies for entertainment and economic development. My focus this year is on sustainable and ethical artificial intelligence and building bridges between digital and real-world ecosystems. The World Summit Awards is full of incredible thought leaders and knowledge keepers from 182 member nations. You'll meet some of our youth ambassadors right here. So if you're part of a startup, if you work in economic development, if you support innovation, come along for the ride, and please stay for the whole podcast, because at the end, I'll show you how you can get involved in the World Summit Awards directly and how you can contribute to our campaign to bring more young people together to change the world. In this episode, we're going to hear from Malkia John, a change maker out to make a difference in the world. Please introduce yourself and your work.
Hello, everyone. My name is Malkia John. I am from Nairobi, Kenya. I am an electrical engineer, a climate advocate, and also a social impact innovator, especially in the digital space. I am currently the founder and executive director for Sauti Salama, a digital platform enabling survivors of gender-based violence to access help digitally.
How did you get involved in the World Summit Awards?
2 years ago, there was a call for youth ambassadors for the World Summit Awards, and it really aligned with my work, focusing on youth movements, the intersection of technology and our social impact. For the last 5 years, I've been a social impact innovator in the digital space, and so the World Summit Awards felt like a platform and a movement where my values aligned.
And tell me, how is this network valuable to your career, to your personal growth, and to the communities that you serve?
I love that the World Summit Awards is first divided regionally, so I am able to connect with like-minded young people in the region, that's specifically in Africa. I love that there's also country chapters. I've been able to interact to know my fellow World Summit youth ambassadors in the country, and we've been onto some amazing work. I also love that World Summit Awards is technology focused. For the last 2 years that I have been an ambassador, and since I am a digital rights activist and advocate and also a founder in this space, I love that it has provided me a space to, network, grow my skills, and also just interact with people.
Mm-hmm. You've been to WSA events before. What were some of the highlights for you?
I love one thing that is a highlight for me was there was a session in which they brought someone who has done work like me before. She is an innovator in the GBV space. And it felt like it was my older self speaking to me, telling me what are the rights, what are the wrongs, what's the path, how do I navigate. I also love that we have the catch-ups with meet your fellow ambassadors and growing that, unilateral movement of young people focused on social impact and having a community of support all the time has been amazing.
You work in the area of gender-based violence. What are the main things that you would like people to know about how technology and innovation can help in this arena?
A lot of, let's call them social advocates or social activists or people who want to see social change. We do anchor our work in community, but with the era of digitization and the era of AI right now, we do not need to leave the community behind as we continue to advocate, as we continue to want social change in our community. So digital platforms and digitization in general is very important and key in our work if we want to, continue creating change. I mean, how amazing would would it be if someone experiences violence, they just, text or even get immediate support through through their mobile phone, how easy it is to store forensics, digital forensics, and bring them up to court. And so as much as we also cut, can I say cut?
Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, you can. Okay, do you want to start the whole thing again and just keep
Yeah.
order? All right. So that's fine. I'll just count you down. So I'll ask the question. 3, 2, 1. You work in the area of gender-based violence, preventing gender-based violence. How can technology and innovation help communities in this regard?
A lot of, let's say, social impact innovators or social workers or people just who want to see social impact in their communities. As much as our work is also anchored in community, as the world is moving towards digitization, AI, when smartphone penetration is increasing in Africa and in Kenya specifically, we cannot leave these same communities behind because, communities are now moving to the internet. I mean, so that should be a way that we are marrying our social impact and digitization. How easy would it be if a victim or a survivor of GBV or any form of violence, at the tap of their phone, they get immediate access to resources, to counselors, to legal aid. How can they even store their evidence digitally to provide it in a court of law? So yes, digitization is important. And as much as digitization has also grown and, we have seen technology facilitated gender-based violence, it's really important to also continue to do our good work and change through digital tools. I believe that is the future.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think that's really important, both the call for help and the support network, as well as the legal and the forensic on the other side. Where does data sovereignty and data integrity come into play?
For innovators like myself or people with organizations where they get access to data that is very sensitive, I mean, as much as the GDPR and the EU have been, on a crackdown for people who do not handle data well, but also guidelines have come for every country now has, I'm very sure, data license or data rules to protect. As much as we also continue to want to impact people, maybe statistics, but also people are people, they have the humanity. So we need to always remember that as we handle their data. So as much as data is also used for policy advocacy and, without data, we cannot have change, I know, but we can do that in a very responsible way that does not create more harm.
That's really important. And I appreciate the work you're doing in this arena. You're clearly a role model for the next generation, but I'm also wondering, what would you like the old guard to learn from you right now?
I mean, I believe young people are tech savvy. I mean, and with the whole transition, as I said, as the world is moving towards digitization, I think the old guard must also realize that, realize and appreciate that, the world is moving towards, more internet, more digital tools, more AI, more automation. And the old guys should learn a bit of this as we continue to just harmoniously, create change together. I believe, yeah, yes.
I concur. I love that. What challenges specifically are young innovators and sustainability leaders facing in Kenya right now?
Um, I know every young person would just stand here and say funding, and I'll just echo on that. But I mean, funding could be in different ways, but that support, that's monetary. We cannot create change without money. Sometimes, change has to be financed at some point because you cannot go hungry and still, have energy to go to work in the morning. And most of us do it voluntarily. With the recent cuttings in funding from the global north, it's now really a lot of social impact innovators are really thinking, what is it really worth it? Do I really move to, to a different thing? But also I do believe, and we always say that young African startups or innovators are over-mentored and underfunded. So there is just all this capacity building classes, but that does not translate to, a bit of even finance or even venture capital for startups. But also since I do innovate in the, nonprofit space, it's really been a struggle for me. If I would have a profit idea, that is very easy to pitch to VC. But I mean, I have to now think about how do I apply for grants. And I feel this journey has been lonely. So there has been very little intergenerational learning. And that is even one challenge to the old guard. Please mentor us, hold our hand towards continue to create impact.
And please fund us.
Yes.
And please fund us. So, WSA events are life-changing, and now I'm going to ask our viewers to contribute financially, if they can, to help a youth ambassador attend WSA in Hyderabad, India. What would you like to say to motivate this kind of support in, frankly, what are tough times?
I mean, and I will repeat it again. The little that you have, it will make someone come to the Congress. The Congress is our yearly celebration towards innovation. It's where we look at our winners. It's where we continue to just strengthen the movement. We call it the horizontal movement of young people, continue to, amplify and impact. So your contribution will really, really go a long way to help people come.
You heard it right here from Malkia. To our Innovation Groundbreakers audience, you can make a difference too with a donation to help an incredible young innovator attend our upcoming World Summit Awards in Hyderabad, India. Please contribute if you can. You can also drop us a line in the comments below. Click and subscribe for more WSA videos. And from us both, thank you so much. See you next time.
Bye.